short and sweet. I'm going to say this real short and sweet. Men control marriage. Men control marriage. So when we have the conversation of why so many Black women are single, the reason is because most Black women only want to date Black men. And the issue with that is that most Black men do not want to be married. They don't value marriage. They don't value commitment. They don't value family as a collective group. So, this is why most Black women are single and have never been married. However, what I find interesting is when Black women open up their options and decide to venture outside the race, a lot of them actually get married. Did you hear what I just said? When Black women decide to go outside the race, she finally gets married. Let that sink in.
Okay. What's going on, everybody? It's Professor Zeus, and I'm back with another video. Yo, if this is your first time at the channel, just know I greatly appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. Go ahead and hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers, and we're headed. we're taking the humble route. Listen, this TikTok is going to be in the description, but men control marriage because they're the ones who propose, but none of them want to get married, huh? Okay. Let me see if I can try to break this down. You know, if marriage is the goal, or is it about being a productive human being, living your best life? If I'm being honest, life is about purpose, right? If I'm 100% locked in into being the best version of myself, and that's something that I'm always saying on this YouTube, try to be the best version of yourself at all times, right? Productive, honest, consistent, you know, understanding that there's a higher power at work, however you want to address that higher power, all of that. Everything falls into place when you follow that, you know, that type of mentality. You don't have to chase marriage. You don't have to beg for it or even obsess over it. Now, if I'm doing me at the highest level, the reward is going to come naturally, right? And that's how I look at it. You don't have to necessarily agree, but, you know, just hear me out, right? Let's talk about the dating market, the marriage market, all of that. I've said this a few times, and, you know, I'll try to say it again. Women who are essentially marriage material, they don't stay single for long. Have you noticed that? A lot of men will snatch these women up very quickly, right? Like the women who are like the total package, right? They're not sitting around waiting to be picked, right? And I'm not just talking about looks, but obviously that's a part of it. I'm talking about femininity, education, demeanor, the way they carry themselves. And, you know, when people meet them, they don't have to advertise their worth, right? Because it's so obvious. These women, they're not on dating apps, you know, swiping left and right. And no offense to anybody who's on dating apps. You know, I know a few people who have found honest and true love through dating apps. I'm not, you know, downing dating apps or anything, because obviously I'd love to see more couples out there in general and happy situations and all that, right? You know, most women, right, who are literally quote unquote top notch are getting wifed up before they even, you know, consider or think about downloading these apps, right? Now, I'll go into a little bit about my own personal situation, right? Before I got married, my wife, she was getting pursued by a lot of men who are extreme, had some motion going on. You know what I'm saying? She literally had politicians asking for her hand in marriage, right? My wife embodies femininity. She's a lawyer. She's has crazy demeanor. She's so respectful, so loving, and she carries herself to the utmost type of standard, right? So even if she didn't get married to me, she would have got married very quickly because everybody saw what everybody saw the greatness in her, right? And it's so funny. Like, we'll stop by my parents' house, and my parents are having events and stuff at the house, right? And like my wife will be helping out at the house, and then like random aunties who are not familiar with my wife will come like, "Oh my God, what's your name? Like, can I get your number? Like, I have some nephews, I've got sons." And she like, "Oh yeah, like, but that's my husband. That's my husband." So a lot of these women who are top notch, who men are looking for, they are going to get married very, very quickly. Right? But on the other side of that, if you're a woman who's in essence perpetually single, right? And you're wondering why no one's putting a ring on it, unfortunately, and I hate to be the one to say it, right? But the problem might be you. And the same thing goes for men too. But we're basing this off of, this woman's TikTok. She's saying that, men control marriage, right? Okay, we're gonna lean towards that argument, right? So if you're not saying that, you've got a ring on it, maybe you're the issue, because contrary to popular belief, a lot of men do want to get married, right? I'm a semi-successful man, and I know some semi-successful men, successful men. Most of them are married or trying to get married, right? And that's just the honest truth, right? But if you're out here saying, I just want to get married, but you're not, and I hate bringing this up, you're not bringing value to the table, not living purposefully, not growing as a person, why would someone pick you, right? Marriage isn't just about the ring or the Instagram post. It's about two people building something real, right? And if your only goal is the spectacle of the wedding and not the partnership and not the union, you're already off track, right? Now, again, looking at it from the perspective of a man, right? And a black man, just like, from what this woman is saying, right? Because obviously this is just a woman's issue. Men do control the access to marriage, right? We're the ones who propose traditionally. But the kicker is a lot of guys, we do want to get married. Again, I can't preface that enough. We do want to get married. I hang with people who want to start families, right? Honestly, right? They want a wife, they want children, they want the whole deal, right? So why aren't, some men not proposing? Obviously, it's fear, just plain and simple, right? They're scared of divorce, right? They're scared of losing everything that they've built. If you look at the statistics, look at Iman Shumpert and Teyana Taylor, right? Women file for divorce over 70% of the time. And when that happens, usually family court laws often favor the women, right? Again, just look at Iman Shumpert and Teyana Taylor. That was a huge situation not too long ago. Teyana, she hands up, look, she damn near took everything, right? And it's like when you see other men losing half of their assets, right? Their kid custody to their kids, right? Their peace of mind. A lot of men start to think, like, why would I sign up for that? right? Again, it's not just the legal stuff, right? Timing's a factor too. A lot of women wait for a man who's already made it, right? Prefacing my other video where, the woman is saying, women are just trying to get with men who make money now, not seeing the potential, right? They want the finished product, 6 figures, nice car, no baggage, but they overlook the guy who's grinding, right? At 22, 23, fresh out of college, broke, but ambitious, right? I got married when I was 25 and I'm 31 right now. I got married when I was 25 and I'm 31 right now. When my wife met me, I had stuff going on, but I didn't really have anything going on. Years later, we got stuff going on now. You know what I mean? But she had to see the potential in me, just like I had to see the potential in her, right? You're supposed to be collaborating, working together, and build up your empire together, right? Because when it's time for the playoffs, right? When you're successful, stable, and everything's moving correctly, that's when you as a woman, you're in a competitive race with every other woman who ignored the man back then, right? Because what makes you stand out at that moment, right? Why should he pick you over the rest? What makes you different, right? Right? And again, speaking from the lens of a black man, black men especially, say they want black women. I'm married to a black woman, but they're turned off by certain attitudes, dispositions, and certain vibes. And I'm not saying all black women are like that, right? And I'm not saying no other woman in any other culture is not like that don't have, crazy attitudes, crazy personalities, and different things like that, right? But, a lot of women are just chasing that small pool of quote unquote high value men instead of working with that guy who's just like a run of the mill nice guy who has potential, right? Men become hesitant, women become extra picky, and then nobody wins, right? So where does that leave us? Accountability. If you're a woman who wants to get married, but you're not, you have to look inward. Are you the best version of yourself? Are you wife material? Not just in theory, but in practice, right? Because even listen, because men can tell the difference, right? They know when a woman is a housewife or just a situation at any given time, a keeper, someone you can see yourself with for the rest of your life. But if you're a woman who's not getting picked, right? Maybe it's time that you look at leveling up, not for a man particularly, right? But for you. Go to school, whatever, chase your purpose, invest in yourself. The minute you start doing that, you stop being the one left on the market, right? So let's go back to the script, man. Let's start from the beginning. Seek your purpose first. Be 100% you 100% of the time. If marriage is for you, it'll come. But if you're chasing it just to say you got it, you might end up with a ring and nothing else, man. Live your best life and, let the rest fall into place. Let me know what you guys think. Drop the comments. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Send this video to someone who might see some value in it. And never ever forget, it's you and I verse. Information, application, execution. Until next time, peace.